While electrification is still creeping into the motorcycle world, for example, the Harley Livewire, Zero Motorcycles has been building bikes since 2007. In fact, back in 2019, it decided to show off a concept bike. And that concept bike was so well received that now here in 2021, it decided to make it legit. And this is that concept motorcycle. This is the Zero FXE. It's essentially the FXS with a new body style. And while it doesn't look too much different from a regular motorcycle, it does feel like the future. Starting at $11,795, it's powered by the company's ZF 75.5 motor and has a 7.2 kilowatt hour capacity battery pack. Put those together and you get a bike with 78 foot-pounds of torque and 48 horsepower, which with motorcycle power numbers continuing to climb doesn't seem like a lot until you realize that this bike only weighs 298 pounds. The benefit of EV torque coupled with very little weight means that in the wrong hands, you're gonna have a lot of unintended wheelies, though underneath an experienced rider, you're gonna have a lot of, well, intended wheelies and a really fun commute. The upright and forward seating position of the FXE does take a little bit to get used to. It's the typical supermoto sitting position, but after a few miles, you're gonna have a blast. Even doing 0 to 40 from stoplight to stoplight, because of that EV torque, is amazing. And it's really fun on the curvies and in the mountain passes. That is, if you can get to them. Zero is very upfront that it sees the FXE as an urban commute bike. It's not really built for long trips, long weekend trips to the mountains, to Yosemite. And that's really a long way of saying that the range of this bike is only 100 miles. It's essentially you go to work, you ride around town, you do some errands, you come home. I will tell you that a fun little bit of trivia is that the MPGe, the miles per gallon equivalent for this bike, is 533. So that's a fun little bit of information you can share with your friends as you're doing wheelies by their house. And that brings us to charging, which is definitely an at-home affair. The FXS will just plug into your regular wall socket via a little port right here. But when you plug it in at night, it'll take a little over 9.5 hours to charge from 0 to 100%, which that's a lot. Now, Zero does sell accessories that allow you to bring that charge time down to 4.8 hours or 1.8. For the sake of space and weight, the FXE, like the FXS before it, does not ship with a level 2 charge port like you see on a regular EV. If you're looking for that sort of charging and long trips, you can check out Zero's SR lineup. The guts of the FXE, the motor and the battery, are essentially the same as the FXS. In fact, it's actually replacing the 7.2 FXS. Now, the 3.6 FXS with the modular battery will still stick around, but that bike it's really mostly for fleet use because of that modular battery. Up top here, Zero's introduced a new 5-inch TFT display that was easy to read both in direct sunlight and in the shade. I especially like the new layout, which has reduced a lot of clutter. It's pretty straightforward, which means there's less for your brain to sort of figure out what's going on with the bike. I will say though, while you're riding though, because of the seating position, you really have to look down quite a lot more than I'm used to in order to see what's going on. As for the new design, it's sleek, it's futuristic. I really like it because it still looks like a motorcycle, but it looks like it's from the future, but it also doesn't convey, hey, look at me, I'm an EV. The FXE takes all the good bits of the FXS, puts on a new design, some new technology, and essentially just makes a better bike. It's cool looking without being garish, and I'm just gonna say I adored the FXS when I rode it a few years ago, and I adore this bike. If you are a urban commuter that wants something new to ride, you should check out the FXE. For more automotive coverage on two wheels next to a bunch of shipping containers, be sure to subscribe to Engadget.